Information presented on this program and by its guest is believed to be factual and up to date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Discussions and answers to questions do not involve the rendering of personalized investment advice, but are limited to the dissemination of general information and may not be suitable for members of the listening audience. A professional advisor, attorney, or tax professional should be consulted before implementing any of the strategies presented.
Are you retired or getting close? Welcome to Retirement Lifestyles with Patrick McNally, where it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom you need to live your dream retirement. Are there challenges on the way? You bet. Inflation, the economy, and the ups and downs of today's markets will try to rob you of your dreams. But take heart and take notes, because what you're about to learn will put you on the winning side of life for the rest of your life. Now, here's the host of Retirement Lifestyles, Patrick McNally.
News Talk 105.7 KQMS. Good morning, Reading. Good morning to the North State, and welcome to Retirement Lifestyles. I'm your host, Patrick McNally. I'd say with me, as always, my friend and fellow advisor, Mr. Rick Comerick. He is off today. He is actually headed up north to see his oldest child, visit her at college, which is actually kind of weird that we're getting to the point where we've got kids old enough to be in college already. It's getting kind of creepy. But welcome to the show. This is where it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom to live your dream retirement. It's what we talk about each and every weekend. Gosh, we've been doing this show for 9 years, and the time has flown, but time flies when you're having fun. And we love talking about retirement. We love talking about investments. We love talking about how to plan to have the income that you want in retirement. So if you are looking at retirement and you're looking at getting closer, you're already there, this is the show for you. So I'm going to go ahead and preview this thing for you. Being in financial services for over 20 years now, I have found that most people either want more income in retirement or they worry about running out. So I build simple and mathematically correct retirement income plans that can provide you with a paycheck that's predictable, consistent, safe, and can even increase every year no matter what the market does. And that's ultimately going to give you the peace of mind you're looking for and the freedom to enjoy your dream retirement. Now, the title of the show today is The Perfect Retirement Income Plan. When it comes to preparing for retirement, the number one thing you got to plan for is income. If you've ever listened to this show before, you've heard me say that a million times. The number one thing you have to plan for is your income, because it comes right down to this question. Where is your paycheck going to come from when you're no longer getting one? I ask this question all the time, and I get blank stares. That's because most people have never really sat down and thought about it. So today I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to discuss some of the different phases of investing throughout your life, and then I'm going to take you through what I call the 3 worlds of investing to give you an idea of the different ways to set up your portfolio to provide an increasing income in retirement that you won't outlive. Does that sound good to you guys? As always, I got a loaded show for you, and I'm super excited, and you know what to do next. Go refill your coffee and grab your notepad, and I'm going to get started in 2 minutes.
You're listening to Retirement Lifestyles with Patrick McNally. It's time to create your Sun Oaks story.
It was fantastic to see every year the progress that I've done and what I thought I couldn't do, and each year excelling and doing better.
I just wasn't comfortable. I wasn't happy. I just didn't like the way I looked. So I decided to just go to the gym at Sun Oaks, and I really fell in love with that gym.
The connections and the friendships we've made at Sun Oaks are priceless.
The personal trainers invited me to the group workout sessions, which were great. I think it's one of the best things about Sun Oaks.
We're all being active, we're all working out, and we're having a good time while we're doing it. Not only moving better, but it helps us feel better, and then we in turn live better. Yeah, Sun Oaks really has become a second home for our family.
So many friendships, and I think that's the key out there. It's just a friendly place to be.
Start your fitness journey with us this month and get $100 off your setup fee. Visit us at sunoaks.com or on Argyle Road, just 5 minutes off I-5. Sun Oaks. Health, hope, community.
You've heard me say it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedoms you need to live your dream retirement. When it comes to the health side, I want to tell you about my family's personal chiropractor, Dr. Todd Royce, owner of Chiropractic First. Not only does he adjust us and get us back to our active lives, he teaches us about ongoing nutrition and living healthier. If you have any pain or stiffness in your back or neck, I want you to call Chiropractic First today at 243-0889. Mention Patrick for a free consultation. You don't need to live with pain or discomfort anymore. Call Dr. Todd at 243-0889 or visit online at chirofirst.net. If you've listened to my show before, then you know I talk to a lot of people that worry about running out of money in retirement. For 20 years, I've taught people just like you the secrets of how to set up and manage their investments for a lifetime of income. They discovered how to create a predictable, consistent, and safe retirement paycheck that can increase every year no matter what the market does. Now it's your turn. Visit TalkToPatrick.com and schedule a free phone call with me. Do it now. TalkToPatrick.com. That's TalkToPatrick.com.
Welcome back to Retirement Lifestyles.
Welcome back to the show. This is Retirement Lifestyles. I'm your host, Patrick McNally, doing the show solo today. Mr. Comerick is visiting family, visiting his oldest daughter at college, which is super cool. And we're talking about the perfect retirement income plan. That's the title of the show today. And I often talk about the number one thing that you have to plan for in retirement, and that's income. Because like I said in the first little segment there, the number one thing you have to think about is where is my paycheck going to come from when I retire from my job and completely retire, and I'm no longer getting a paycheck. And so it seems like a simple question, seems like something that everybody would think about, but when I ask it, when people come to see us, I often get blank stares like, I never really kind of thought of it that way. You're used to throughout your working life, you're used to getting that paycheck. That's what pays the bills. That's what you do life with. That's what you get. And, when you've got the leftover, that's what goes into savings. That's what you fund your 401k with or other retirement plans. And you sacrifice, you're putting money away. You put money in the market and hopefully the market goes up. That's what we all hope. That's why we take the risk of investing in the market. But one of these days, over time, you get to retirement. A lot of times you blink and you're there and you go, okay, now it's time to start pulling money out of my accounts, which can be daunting for a lot of people. I hear that a lot. It's like, I've been putting money away for 40 years. I've never touched this thing. And now I'm a little scared to pull money out because what if it runs out? That goes through everyone's mind. So don't think you're the only one out there. If you've got, concerns about outliving your income, they've done studies on this before and said the number one fear in retirement is outliving your income. You've heard that number one fear is public speaking, even before death. Well, for retirement, it's outliving your income. So that's why we do the planning that we do. That's why at Retirement Lifestyles Advisors, we focus on the income. So today I want to walk through these three main phases of investing in your life. I'm going to break it down by ages because depending on where you are on this kind of timeline, if you will, it should tell you give you an idea of how to invest. Now, on this show, I do not give investment advice. I'm not going to tell you what investments, specifically to invest in. We could do that on a phone call or in-person meeting, but not on this show. But I will give you some ideas, how much risk to take depending on what age you are. For example, let me give you the three phases. You can write these down, and I'll give you the ages that go with them. Number one is called the accumulation phase. And the typical ages, you're accumulating. This is the saving. This is the sacrificing. Usually between about ages 18 to 54. The accumulation phase. The next one is called the transition phase. Typically ages 55 to 65. This is where you're transitioning. You're going, hey, you know what? I'm kind of getting close to retiring. I can kind of see that light at the end of the tunnel. So you're transitioning, and maybe you want to make a few changes to the investments, how much risk you take. And then that third phase, that final phase of financial phases of life is what we call the income and preservation stage, usually ages 65 plus. And this is where you go from focusing only on growth, the growth of the account, to now focusing on income and preserving what it is that you've built. Because most of the time you get into retirement, you quit your job, you're in retirement, say 5 or 10 years, you may not, number one, you probably don't want to go back to work. But as we age, sometimes we get to the point where we can't go back to work. So the money that you've accumulated, your savings, you got to make that last. And that's why we call that the preservation stage. So that's why I say at this stage of life, you switch from focusing mostly on the growth of your investments. Don't hear me wrong. I'm not saying that you don't continue to want growth, but your number one focus becomes income and growth becomes secondary. So let's go back to that accumulation phase. 18 to 54, again, like I said, this is where you're working, maybe you're starting a young family. This is that phase of life where, it's new and you're earning, the paycheck, and you're socking money away. And you do that for 20, 30 years. Then we get to this transition phase. I'm sorry, let me go back. So that accumulation phase, folks, that's where you can take the most risk. When you've got a 401k, you've got retirement accounts, this is the area where you can say, you know what, I'm going to put 100% of it into stocks, stock mutual funds, stock ETFs. You're not doing bonds. You're not doing CDs. You're not doing, cash, things like that. This is where you can take the most risk. Here's why. Because the markets, they go up and down every single day. But if you give that market enough time, you can just look throughout history, it always goes up. Now, most people just focus on the times that it dumps, it goes down 30%. Well, that happens. You know what? You should look at that as an opportunity, though, when you're in the accumulation phase and put more money in. Because that's like the old half-price sale at Kohl's. That's when you go shopping. That's when the deals are. That's when you can pick up a whole lot of investments for cheap. Now, once you get to that transition phase, 55 to 65-ish, that's where you start going, okay, you know what? I'm maybe 5 to 10 years from fully retiring. Maybe I should scale back the risk. Maybe not 100% in stock mutual funds, stock ETFs, stocks individually. Maybe I now start adding a little bit of bonds. Maybe I even consider looking at some annuities, some of those things that have guarantees to them. And I'm going to break that down when I talk about the three worlds of investing, the different products themselves. But this is that area of transition where you go, okay, I still want some growth. I still want some risk, because 5 to 10 years, that's still enough time that if we do have a blip in the market, that I've got enough time to make that back up. So this is the area of life right in there where you're 5 to 10 years, where you really start to do a lot of good planning. This is usually where a lot of people reach out to us. And we have a phone call and we kind of talk about, hey, have you looked at the wills and the trust? How's the insurance looking? How's the investment? We look at those areas of financial planning to make sure that by the time you get to retirement, you are set. You are ready. You are ready to just relax. Once you get in retirement, you don't want to be, watching the market. Most people don't want to be watching that market every single day. I joke a lot, when you're in retirement, you want to enjoy it. You don't want to be, watching the stock market with a bottle of Pepto-Bismol next to you. You don't want to do that. You want to enjoy retirement. This is the time you start really planning for that during that transition phase. And then we get to the income preservation phase, age 65 plus typically for most people. This is where we say, okay, it's retirement time. It is time to enjoy the fruits of our labor from the last 40 or 40 plus years. It's time now to relax. It's time to take that alarm clock and chuck it out the window and do the things that you've always wanted to do. It's that time of life where you've got a 7-day weekend now instead of a 2-day weekend. And this is the area where you say, okay, now I need to start investing for income, not just growth. Now, you're always going to get growth if you've always got some money in the market. But this is the area of time where you start really going, okay, do I need to maybe create my own pension, which would be like looking at some different annuities and things like that. But you start looking at investments maybe a little bit differently, saying, okay, are my investments earning me income? Are they paying me a paycheck that I'll never outlive? And that's what comes down to, how do you set up your portfolio to now pay you, to put that money to work for you. You're no longer working for money. You've quit the job. You no longer get the paycheck. Now you got to make your money work for you. And this is where you do some really good planning with that and look at investments as the tools, the mechanism to now pay you a paycheck. I got to go to a break, but before I do, I want to give you a copy of a new report I wrote just a couple months ago called The 5 Ways to Increase Your Income in Retirement. Just grab your phone real quick and text me the word money. The key word is money, and the number's 47177. The number again, 47177. The text is money. Do it now, and I'll send you that report for free. Back in a minute.
Don't touch that dial. Patrick will be right back.
You've heard me say how important it is to get your estate planning in order. Financial planning is more than just the investments. Don't leave your loved ones stuck with inheritance issues or huge estate tax problems. Get your will, trust, and powers of attorney in line today. I want you to call my trusted friends at Kenny and Noreen, 244-7777, and let them help you get your estate documents in order quickly and affordably. Call Kenny and Noreen today at 244-7777. Procrastination only hurts the ones you love, so get it done. Call Kenny and Noreen or visit online at lawnorcal.com.
Homeownership. Are you ready? You may be more ready than you think. Are you tired of wasting money renting a home or apartment? Mortgage Matt with Megastar Financial not only makes the buying process easy, his mortgage experience and real estate connections can help you find the home of your dreams.
Hi, Mortgage Matt here with Megastar Financial. My advice for anyone looking to purchase a home is to first find out what financing you qualify for. With a limited number of homes currently on the market, this step can allow you to focus on finding a home you qualify for and be prepared to make an offer when you find that perfect home. My team at Megastar Financial has the expertise of making sure your loan closes on time so you and your family can start making memories. Go to megastarreading.com today and start your pre-qualification process. I will personally respond to your application within 24 hours and set up your complimentary mortgage review. Are you ready?
Contact Mortgage Matt at 999-9000 or online at megastarreading.com. MLS number 260571, Equal Housing Lender.
If you're listening to this show, chances are you're probably retired or you're getting real close. If you want to learn how to generate a consistent lifetime paycheck from your investments without worrying about the stock market, it's time for us to talk. Schedule a free, no-obligation call with me today by visiting TalkToPatrick.com. On the call, I'll show you exactly how to achieve peace of mind in retirement. Visit TalkToPatrick.com. That's TalkToPatrick.com. Don't wait. This is too important. Schedule your call now at TalkToPatrick.com.
Welcome back to Retirement Lifestyles.
Welcome back to the show. This is Retirement Lifestyles. I'm your host, Patrick McNally, and this is a show where it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom to live your dream retirement. I'm talking about the perfect income plan today. Doing the show solo. My co-host, Mr. Comerick, is up seeing family, so I hope he's having a really, really good time. And I just went through the three main phases of investing, and I'll recap them real quick here. The first phase is the accumulation phase, usually ages 20 to 55. The next is the transition phase, ages 55 to 65, and then the preservation and income phase, ages 65 plus. If you missed any of that, we'll have the show up this week, and you can walk through that again. I'll be walking through it again later on in the show, but if you missed that first part, that's what we talked about. I want to talk about right now what's called the three worlds of investing, because this just kind of goes right into each other with, depending on the phases that you're in right now, how you're investing, what type of investments do you use? And you can really put any type of investment you can think of, cash, CDs, insurance products, stocks, mutual funds, bonds, all that stuff can fit in one of these three worlds. And the first world is called safety. The second world I call predictability. And the third is consistency. Kind of retitled these. If you've heard me talk about the three worlds in the past, you've heard me talk about safety, risk, and hybrid. And I couldn't get the word hybrid, which is kind of weird to me. It never really fit right. So I'm calling them safety, predictability, and consistency. And I want to break it down like this. In the world of safety, you've got stuff. This is really where you're going to think about banks, cash, CDs, money markets, something with a guarantee, something that's insured. Now, the thing about the world of safety is that, yeah, it's warm and fuzzy because it's guaranteed and it's safe. But remember, you always give up something to get something else. So what do you give up in this world? You're going to give up a rate of return. You're going to give up how much growth you can get from these investments. They're not designed to be growth investments. They're designed to be safe. They're designed to be liquid. Most of the time, because you can put things like annuities into the world of safety because they have a guarantee, right? They've got an insurance guarantee. Banks got FDIC insurance. So these are the areas that you're going to put money that maybe you need access to quickly. Maybe, 1 or 2 years or less, you might need access to this cash. And you always want to have some cash on hand. But this isn't the world where you want to put most of your money if you want growth and income. The next world is predictability. And this is kind of a middle world. You still got a guarantee, but it's not risk-based. You get a little higher rate of return. And this is where things like index annuities live. Maybe you've heard of index annuities. Basically, I like to call it a personal pension. Because depending on what you've heard or read, annuity can be a good thing or a bad thing. In my opinion, it's just what you use it for. I don't think any type of product is inherently good or bad. I get asked a lot of times, what do you think about gold and what do you think about silver? And I'm not a huge fan from an investment standpoint, just because pay a dividend. They don't employ anybody. But you know what? They can accumulate growth over time, and so they can have a use. So I'm not against or for any specific investment. Annuities can be a good piece of your guaranteed income. If you don't have a traditional pension, which a lot of corporations, I think it's less than 5% of corporations even have traditional pensions anymore. You may want to create your own, and that's what you can do with an index annuity. You basically give an insurance company a chunk of money, and in return, they're going to guarantee you an income for the rest of your life, or an income for both yours and your spouse's life. And so that can be a way to carve off a piece of your portfolio and say, you know what, we're going to use this as a guaranteed foundational piece, because you do want guaranteed income when you're talking about income planning for retirement. You want to have a foundation that is always coming in, consistent paycheck. And so this is, I kind of jumped ahead. This is the predictable, because the next world of investing, consistent, I can't use the word guarantee. I can't say prediction. This is the world of the market. This is the world where you're going to get the most growth. Remember, you got to give up something to get something. So what are you giving up in the world of risk, the world of consistency, I call it? You're giving up a guarantee, because you've got stocks, bonds, mutual funds. These things go up and down every single day, but it's the only world where you're going to outpace inflation. And inflation is the silent killer of any retirement account. It's the silent killer of money. When inflation runs, on average 3% a year, costs of everything that we buy double about every 20. So you got to think about that. You got to go, okay, if I'm in retirement for 30 years, the cost of everything is going to double at least once. How is my money going to keep up with that? Because you're no longer working. You're no longer getting raises at work. It's the raise from your job that kind of outpaced inflation before. So how does your portfolio give you a raise each and every year? You got to have some money in the market. I'll give you a few examples here. I like using, for a lot of people, stocks that will pay a dividend. Looking at dividends. A dividend's a share of the profit of a company. Well, a lot of times these companies, you look at their stock prices, they change every single day. Those dividends typically, if you get solid companies, can increase every year. So you get a raise on your money. You didn't even have to do anything. You didn't even have to own any more stock. They just gave you a raise depending on the company you owned. So that can be a cool piece of the puzzle there for you, is looking at ways that you can create increasing, consistent income in retirement. If you got questions about that, you want to learn more, let's have a phone call and talk about this a little bit more. Go to talktopatrick.com. The website's talktopatrick.com. You'll find my calendar there. Carve off a day and a time that works for you, 30-minute phone call, and I will call you on that time. Again, if you want a copy of my 5 ways to increase your income in retirement, grab your smartphone real quick and text me the word money to the number 47177, and I'll send you that right away. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a minute.
It's time to create your Sun Oak story.
It was fantastic to see every year the progress that I've done and what I thought I couldn't do, and each year excelling and doing better.
I just wasn't comfortable. I wasn't happy. I just didn't like the way I looked. So I decided to just go to the gym at Sun Oaks, and I really fell in love with that gym.
The connections and the friendships we've made at Sun Oaks are priceless.
The personal trainers invited me to the group workout sessions, which were great. I think it's one of the best things about Sun Oaks.
We're all being active. We're all working out, and we're having a good time while we're doing it. Not only moving better, but it helps us feel better, and then we in turn live better. Yeah, Sun Oaks really has become a second home for our family.
So many friendships, and I think that's the key out there. It's just a friendly place to be.
Start your fitness journey with us this month and get $100 off your setup fee. Visit us at sunoaks.com or on Argyle Road, just 5 minutes off I-5. Sun Oaks. Health, hope, community.
If you've listened to my show before, then you know I talk to a lot of people that worry about running out of money in retirement. For 20 years, I've taught people just like you the secrets of how to set up and manage their investments for a lifetime of income. They discovered how to create a predictable, consistent, and safe retirement paycheck that can increase every year no matter what the market does. Now it's your turn. Visit TalkToPatrick.com and schedule a free phone call with me. Do it now. TalkToPatrick.com. That's TalkToPatrick.com. You've heard me say it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedoms you need to live your dream retirement. When it comes to the health side, I want to tell you about my family's personal chiropractor, Dr. Todd Royce, owner of Chiropractic First. Not only does he adjust us and get us back to our active lives, he teaches us about ongoing nutrition and living healthier. If you have any pain or stiffness in your back or neck, I want you to call Chiropractic First today at 243-0889. Mention Patrick for a free consultation. You don't need to live with pain or discomfort anymore. Call Dr. Todd at 243-0889 or visit online at chirofirst.net.
Welcome back to Retirement Lifestyles.
Welcome back to the show. This is Retirement Lifestyles. I'm your host, Patrick McNally, and this is the halfway point of the show. My normal co-host, Mr. Comerick, is out today visiting family up north. Hope he's having a really, really good time. And we're at the halfway point of the show, and this is typically where we like to talk about a health tip or a fitness tip, and I'm going to use this time a little bit to kind of tell a little story about my health journey, but here's the thing. You've heard my tagline. It's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom to live your dream retirement, because I really believe that if you can keep your health, it really affects everything else. If you can keep your health, it's going to help you keep more of your wealth. You won't be spending a whole lot of money on medical stuff. And, typically, again, as we age, you can't get away from that. But at the same time, if you can take care of yourself, it hopefully will keep a lot of the stuff away. And that's why I always encourage our clients, to stay as active as you possibly can. And I want to mention that a good friend of mine, David Simmons, has opened a brand new fitness facility, Strong City Strength and Conditioning, right here in Reading. It's right on Victor Avenue. It's at 2478 Victor Avenue. I am a member there, and they're going to be a new sponsor of the show here. So I want to give them a little bit of props here. And then each week, David and his team, one of the coaches, are going to bring us a fitness tip. So super excited about that. And David also said that if you're interested in the classes and interested in learning a little bit more, he will give you a free class, obviously, to test it out. And then if you do become a member, he'll give you 20% off your first month dues. So that's pretty cool. So I've got his contact info. I can send you a text, actually. Text me the word STRONG, S-T-R-O-N-G, STRONG, to the number 47177, and immediately you'll get back his phone number, email address, all kinds of contact information, and mention the show to make sure that you get a free class and 20% off your first month. But I started, really my big fitness journey probably about 5 years ago when I started doing CrossFit. And you've heard me a few times here and there maybe talk about doing CrossFit and probably how sore I was, or maybe doing a CrossFit competition, things like that. When you hear a lot of times people hear the word CrossFit, they kind of cringe a little bit and like, oh, you're one of those crazy guys, part of like a CrossFit cult. Well, you can be. Here's the cool thing about what most people don't think about CrossFit. It's a group class is really all it is. And for me anyway, working out, I could never really do it by myself. And maybe that's just my personality. I don't know, but I'd get bored, going to the gym. Already, at least for me, I don't love working out. Now, I love the results. That's what I want. So I endure the pain and the discomfort and the soreness of working out to get to my ultimate goal, which is feeling better, having more energy, feeling happier about myself. All those things are the byproduct, if you will, of going through the pain and discomfort. Now, here's the other thing, though. There's something about suffering as a group, which is a whole lot more tolerable than just doing it on your own at the gym. And that's why I like group classes. That's why I decided on CrossFit. I was researching CrossFit for like 6-8 months before I joined a gym. And then fell in love with it, do about 4 or 5 days a week. So I encourage you to check this out. Now, the different thing about David and his group with Strong City is it's what he calls Strong Fit. And I think a lot of people would really enjoy this if they actually really tried it. He uses a lot of things like sandbags instead of just your normal, dumbbells and barbells, and which he has. Don't get me wrong, we use those, sometimes, but a lot of stuff is sandbags and kettlebells and different odd objects, which to me makes a lot more sense because that's a lot of the stuff we carry in life. You're picking up the groceries, or you help a buddy move, and you're carrying a box. It's almost like this. That's the type of fitness that leads into everyday life. So I just wanted to give him kind of a good overview. He couldn't be here today, but he will be here next week. At least call on the show, give us a fitness tip, things we can be doing to help you live the best life that you can. So I want to encourage you guys, if you've been thinking about doing something, start slow. Just go for a walk. I know it's been kind of smoky and stuff outside, and that's kind of held a lot of people indoors. But once that stuff clears, I want to encourage you to, take a walk around the block, and then take 2 walks around the block, and then just start slow if you need to. And, that's going to help every area of your life. So I'm going to go to a quick break, but when I come back, again, I'm going to be talking about what I did in the kind of a recap of the first half of the show, the perfect retirement income plan. I'm going to go through the financial phases of life again, and then the 3 worlds of investing. So if you missed any of that first half of the show, you're going to want to stay tuned. So I'll be back in just a minute.
Smooth. You're listening to Retirement Lifestyles with Patrick McNally.
You've heard me say how important it is to get your estate planning in order. Financial planning is more than just the investments. Don't leave your loved ones stuck with inheritance issues or huge estate tax problems. Get your will, trust, and powers of attorney in line today. I want you to call my trusted friends at Kenny and Noreen, 244-7777, and let them help you get your estate documents in order quickly and affordably. Call Kenny and Noreen today at 244-7777. Procrastination only hurts the ones you love, so get it done. Call Kenny and Noreen or visit online at lawnorcal.com. If you're listening to this show, chances are you're probably retired or you're getting real close. If you want to learn how to generate a consistent lifetime paycheck from your investments without worrying about the stock market, it's time for us to talk. Schedule a free, no-obligation call with me today by visiting TalkToPatrick.com. On the call, I'll show you exactly how to achieve peace of mind in retirement. Visit TalkToPatrick.com. That's TalkToPatrick.com. Don't wait. This is too important. Schedule your call now at TalkToPatrick.com.
Home ownership. Are you ready? You may be more ready than you think. Are you tired of wasting money renting a home or apartment? Mortgage Matt with Megastar Financial not only makes the buying process easy, his mortgage experience and real estate connections can help you find the home of your dreams.
Hi, Mortgage Matt here with Megastar Financial. My advice for anyone looking to purchase a home is to first find out what financing you qualify for. With a limited number of homes currently on the market, this step can allow you to focus on finding a home you qualify for and be prepared to make an offer when you find that perfect home. My team at Megastar Financial has the expertise of making sure your loan closes on time so you and your family can start making memories. Go to megastarredding.com today and start your pre-qualification process. I will personally respond to your application within 24 hours and set up your complimentary mortgage review. Are you ready?
Contact Mortgage Matt at 999-9000 or online at megastarredding.com. MLS number 260571, Equal Housing Lender.
You've heard me say it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedoms you need to live your dream retirement. When it comes to the health side, I want to tell you about my family's personal chiropractor, Dr. Todd Royce, owner of Chiropractic First. Not only does he adjust us and get us back to our active lives, he teaches us about ongoing nutrition and living healthier. If you have any pain or stiffness in your back or neck, I want you to call Chiropractic First today at 243-0889. Mention Patrick for a free consultation. You don't need to live with pain or discomfort anymore. Call Dr. Todd at 243-0889 or visit online at chirofirst.net.
Welcome back to Retirement Lifestyles.
All right, let's get back into talking about money. If you missed it in the first half of the show, I want you to go to rlaplan.com, rlaplan.com. That's my website. That's our company website. And the show will get up there on Monday or Tuesday. But we've got our past 5 shows. We've got all kinds of free resources and things you can download, videos to watch, things like that. Learn a little bit more about how we manage money in our specialty, which is retirement income planning. So you can learn more at rlaplan.com. Today I'm talking about the perfect retirement income plan and walking through a few things, the financial phases of life, which there's really three main phases of your investing life, and then also the three worlds of investing. And I want to go back through these again, just because I know it's radio. I mean, you tune in, you tune out, you come on, you jump off. I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to hear these areas of investing, because depending on where you are in life, you need to invest a little bit differently. And I think that's one of the problems that I often see, is that when people, are retired, say, whatever, you're 68, 69 years old, you may still be investing like you're 21 years old and maybe taking way too much risk. And so at these different phases, it's a good checklist, if you will. It's a good, reminder of, okay, maybe I need to review where I'm at and make sure that I'm investing properly for my stage of life. And that first phase, that first financial phase of life, is what I call the accumulation phase, typically between ages 18 to 54. This is the area where you can take the most risk, because you're working, you're getting that paycheck. You've got plenty of time that when the market does take a blip, you've got time to make it up, because you're not so concerned, about being close to retirement and then starting to need to pull money out. So this is the area of time, 18 to age 54-ish, where you can take the most amount of quote-unquote risk. And I mean maybe 100% invested in stock mutual funds in your 401k or whatever you have access to. You don't need to be owning bonds. You don't need to have cash, in those accounts, because you don't need access to the cash, obviously. So invest 100% with the most risk that you can stomach, I guess. The next phase is the transition phase, ages typically 55 to 65. And this is a super important, I would say, really one of the most important phases, one of the best times to do a lot of planning for retirement. Because planning, financial planning is not just the investments, guys. That's my specialty. I do the income planning. I do, build portfolios. That is my specialty. But it's just one key area. There's lots of what I call puzzle pieces of financial planning out there. The estate plan, the insurance, the taxes, all these little areas, that we have teams of people to help our clients in. You need to get all of that solid, before you retire, if you can. And this is a great time to do that. Right about 5 to 10 years from retirement, you start to go, okay, maybe I don't need to be 100% in the market. Maybe I will start adding some bonds or some more safety, money to my portfolio, so that if the market does take a hit during that time frame, maybe 5 years before retiring, it's not going to hit you as hard. You know what I'm saying? If you've got half of your money in the market, and then the market gets, takes a 50% dive, well, you lost basically 25% because that other piece, you had in safer investments. So it's not as much of a hit. And so that could be a smart plan heading into retirement. The next phase, usually ages 65 plus, this is where you need to make a shift. And a lot of times I see this in people's minds. You got to go from a growth mindset to an income mindset, because now this is where you're going to start taking money out of your accounts. This is where you're no longer getting that paycheck in retirement. So now you got to find investments that are designed for income. Now, I'm not saying growth isn't important. Don't get me wrong, but it's become secondary. Income is the number one concern. So what investments are you using to pay you a paycheck now that you're no longer getting one? And that's why I say oftentimes I see a mistake with people who are continuing to use maybe mutual funds or even ETFs or even stocks that maybe don't even pay a dividend. They're using some of these types of investments that are not designed for income. They're more designed for growth, but they're way into their retirement years. And maybe they're having to sell investments to generate income. Not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of the 4% rule of having to sell pieces of your portfolio to give you the income. Because, guys, if you sell 4% of the portfolio, you have to rely on the market, which is unpredictable, to make it up. Or in order to just break even again. You got to do that year in and year out, and you can't control the market. No, I don't like doing that. I like to invest, our clients like to invest in investments that consistently pay them an income no matter what the market's doing. So that is what that income preservation stage is all about. And, you just got to be careful. And there's some key ages, too, that you can be making some changes in your portfolio. For example, a lot of people don't know that, when you're 59 and a half, you often hear that age that says that's when you can start taking money out of your account. Well, it's also a time where even if you're still working, you can do what's called an in-service distribution. You can do an in-service rollover If you want to invest in something different that your company doesn't have access to in their 401k, you may be able to open up your own IRA and move that money out of your 401k into an IRA and start putting a plan together for retirement that maybe you don't have access to in your plan. A lot of people don't know you can do that. So there's some different things that you need to understand with the plan that you have at work. Maybe you've got a pension. There's a pension here in town that's not covered by the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation. And I've done a show on this before. I don't mind mentioning it. Dignity Health, Mercy Medical, they've got a wonderful pension over there, but there's one little problem is that it's not insured. So you need to think about that before retiring. What are some options that you have, with that? How do you protect yourself? Because a lot of people, they count on these pensions, these guaranteed sources of income that they're told are going to be guaranteed for their life. But if it's not insured and something happens to the company, you could lose your pension. So how do you protect yourself against that? These are all areas of planning that need to be considered and looked at, and hopefully before you retire. Now, if you're already retired, well, now's the time to do a review of where you're at. So those are the financial phases of life. In our final segment, when we go into it, I'm going to talk again about the three worlds of investing that go with this. What are the things that you can be investing in these different areas of life? And that's coming up next. But I want to give you a chance to order my report, The 5 Ways to Increase Your Income in Retirement. It's free. All you got to do is text me the word money to number 47177. The word is money. The number is 47177, and I will email you a copy of the 5 Ways to Increase Your Income in Retirement. Back in a minute.
Don't touch that dial. Patrick will be right back.
You've heard me say how important it is to get your estate planning in order. Financial planning is more than just the investments. Don't leave your loved ones stuck with inheritance issues or huge estate tax problems. Get your will, trust, and powers of attorney in line today. I want you to call my trusted friends at Kenny and Noreen, 244-7777, and let them help you get your estate documents in order quickly and affordably. Call Kenny and Noreen today at 244-7777. Procrastination only hurts the ones you love, so get it done. Call Kenny and Noreen or visit online at lawnorcal.com.
It's time to create your Sun Oaks story.
It was fantastic to see every year the progress that I've done and what I thought I couldn't do, and each year excelling and doing better.
I just wasn't comfortable. I wasn't happy. I just didn't like the way I looked. So I decided to just go to the gym at Sun Oaks, and I really fell in love with that gym.
The connections and the friendships we've made at Sun Oaks are priceless.
The personal trainers invited me to the group workout sessions, which were great. I think it's one of the best things about Sun Oaks.
We're all being active. We're all working out, and we're having a good time while we're doing it. Not only moving better, but it helps us feel better, and then we in turn live better. Yeah, Sun Oaks really has become a second home for our family.
So many friendships, and I think that's the key out there. It's just a friendly place to be.
Start your fitness journey with us this month and get $100 off your setup fee. Visit us at sunoaks.com or on Argyle Road, just 5 minutes off I-5. Sun Oaks. Health, hope, community.
If you've listened to my show before, then you know I talk to a lot of people that worry about running out of money in retirement. For 20 years, I've taught people just like you the secrets of how to set up and manage their investments for a lifetime of income. They discovered how to create a predictable, consistent, and safe retirement paycheck that can increase every year no matter what the market does. Now it's your turn. Visit TalkToPatrick.com and schedule a free phone call with me. Do it now. TalkToPatrick.com. That's TalkToPatrick.com.
Welcome back to Retirement Lifestyles.
Welcome back, folks. This is the last segment. Like I said, time flies when you're having fun. This is Retirement Lifestyles, and I'm your host, Patrick McNally. And this is the show where it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom to live your dream retirement. Today we've been talking about the perfect retirement income plan. If you missed any of it, I'll have it up on the website this week, Monday or Tuesday. It'll be up there. You can go to rlaplan.com. and click on the media tab, and you'll find our last 5 or 6 shows there, but this one will be up Monday or Tuesday. And went through what I call the 3 main phases of investing. If you missed that, there's 3 main phases of investing depending on what age you're at. Most people fall within this range. Accumulation phase, typically ages 18 to 54. A transition phase, ages 55 to 65. And then the income and preservation phase, which is 65 plus. And I went through that, talked about some of the different things you need to think about during those phases and how you need to look at your investments throughout each of these phases of life, because you might want to make some changes. One of the biggest things that I see is a lot of times people take too much risk when they're in their retirement years, 70, 75 years old, investing like you're 21. You don't want to do that. You really, really, really don't want to do that, because a lot of times you're investing for you're taking too much risk, but you're taking money out of your accounts at the same time. And that's where people can get in trouble. And I often call that, you can have a mathematical death spiral. I was on the phone with somebody not too long ago. It's been about 8 months now. And he told me that. He goes, Patrick, I don't want to have a mathematical death spiral in my portfolio. I said, what are you talking about? And he said, I don't want to be taking money out of my account. I don't want to be withdrawing 4 or 5% a year out of my account, and then the market goes down 30, because I'll never make my money back. And I went, that's exactly a way to put it. And I told him, I'm going to steal that phrase from you, the mathematical death spiral, because it's true. If you're taking, I'm going to use just round numbers, you're taking 5% a year out of your portfolio, and the market goes down 30. Well, you're not down 30, you're down 35. And guys, when you're down 30, 35%, you got to be making, close to 40, 50% in your portfolio just to break even. So you have to think about that even it's not a, one-to-one type of thing. If you lose 30, you don't gain 30 and get back to even. You got to gain more than you lost just to break even. So if you're consistently taking money out of your portfolio, you don't want to have to rely on something that's unpredictable and volatile, the stock market, to make it up each and every year. So that's why we like to use investments that are designed for income to pay you an income. And then you use investments that are designed for growth, but you got to separate them. And so looking at the different phases, that's how you can do that. Now I'm going to talk to you real quick about what I call the 3 worlds of investing, so you know where each of these investments kind of fall. And this is how you build a plan. You figure out what phase of life you're in, and you say, okay, how am I gonna do the mix, of investments to make sure that I'm strategically putting together the best possible plan to give me the income that I need. The first world of investing I call safety, and this is really the world of cash, or something that's guaranteed, or has an FDIC behind it. Banks, CDs, money markets, annuity contracts with insurance companies that are insured, things that have a guarantee to them. They fit into this world of safety. But here's the problem with the world of safety, though. You give up something to get something, so you're giving up some of the returns. You're getting a lower rate of interest on your money to have those guarantees. So you got to balance that out. You don't want 100% of your money sitting in the bank, because you're just going to go broke slowly, because inflation's going to eat away at it. But you want to have money in the bank because you want cash on hand. You want to have access to liquidity. And that's why banks are a good place to put that, and insurance companies a lot of times. The next world is what I call predictability. And predictability is a blend. You're going to get a higher return. Maybe you use like an insurance product, like an index annuity, that gets its returns based on the market, but it's not in the market. So you're not going to get those losses like the market would. But so you have the insurance piece of that, but you also have the safety piece with those guarantees. And an index annuity, oftentimes we'll use these to create a pension for people, because these have income components to them with the guarantees. So that's kind of that's predictable now. The next phase is the consistency phase. I used to call this the world of risk. And it is a world of risk, because this is the stock market. But the stock market can be consistent over time. This is where you're going to have stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, all those things that go into looking at returns that can outpace inflation. Guys, inflation is the number one killer of your portfolio. And it's the silent killer. It's like, what is it, silent killer for our health? Hypertension, right? Heart attack. Inflation is a silent killer of a portfolio. So that's why you got to have always a piece of your portfolio working for you in the market. But you can also have money in the market paying you an income that's not based on the returns. It's based on whether or not those companies pay you a dividend, a share of their profit. And I like dividend stocks for that. If you got questions about that, I would love to have a conversation with you on the telephone. It's a free call. TalkToPatrick.com is the website. You'll find my calendar online. TalkToPatrick.com. Let's have a talk. Let's have a good old conversation about what's going on in your financial life. What phase of financial planning are you in? Are you in the accumulation, the transition? Maybe you're already in retirement, so you're in the income preservation. Make sure that you are investing properly for your area of life. And you can visit talktopatrick.com, schedule a phone call with me. One more chance, grab your free copy of 5 Ways to Increase Your Income in Retirement. I wrote this report a few weeks ago. 5 ways to increase your income in retirement. Text me the word money to the number 47177. The word is money to the number 47177. And give me a little bit of information. I will send you a free copy of that right away. It's been fun today, folks. Thank you for joining me here on Retirement Lifestyles. Again, I'm your host, Patrick McNally, and I'm going to say thank you, Kelly, and thank you for listening to Retirement Lifestyles on News Talk 105.7 KQMS.